I see a lot of great photographs online and wonder as to how that photograph was captured. Did the photographer just get lucky? What were the camera settings? What was this location? Most importantly, how was this edited? What the raw file looked like? This level of information is generally not available with any photo online. Well, that is exactly what we do in this video series. I'll be taking you through some of my best street photographs and explaining you the process end to end. Right from the time I started towards the location to interacting with the people, camera settings, editing, and everything in between. So, hello and welcome to this 9 video series where I uncover some of my best captures so far. My name is Bhavik Telesara. I am a street photographer and I've been capturing photos for more than 4 years now. So, without wasting any time, let us have a look at the first photo, which is this. I've named this photo Fears, and you'll understand why in some time. So I woke up at about 5:30 in the morning, hopped on a train and reached the destination within an hour. The destination was Dhobi Ghat in Mumbai. Dhobi is a person who washes clothes, and Dhobi Ghat is a community of about 7,000 plus people who wash clothes for hotels and hospitals around Mumbai. Well, I was very nervous while walking towards Dhobi Ghat because it was a Sunday morning and I thought it might be closed. To my surprise, when I reached the location, there were many people that were already working there. Making my way through these narrow lanes, making sure that I don't drop my camera in some of these pools, I was clicking random pictures of cats and kids running around when this individual approached me for a photo. Well, it's not very common, let me say. But I said, why not? He stood right in front of me and I started getting a few photos of him. The photos looked very flat because the sun was hitting right in the face. So I saw an opportunity here. I asked the person to move in the opposite direction, where the sun was exactly behind him. This gave me an excellent rim light and added so much depth to the photo. So here's a tip. If you're looking to add more depth or make your photos look 3D, try adding rim light in your photos. Well, what is a rim light? A rim light is a light that lights up the rim. Let's do it again. A rim light is a light that lights up the rim or the edges of your subject, which creates this beautiful outline that helps separate it from the background. Keep in mind, having a rim light is a little tricky because you would be shooting straight into the sun or a bright light source and managing the exposure levels can get difficult. Shooting raw is preferred so that you could recover those details in post-processing. This photo was named Fears for 3 specific reasons. One is the look that this person has in this photo. Second, all the colors are very warm because it was early morning. So there are a lot of yellows, reds, oranges that gives it that fierce look. And the third, based on my conversation with this person, which lasted about 5 to 7 minutes, he seemed very straightforward and fierce in his tone. Now let's jump into the editing screen and see how this photo will take a final form. So now we are inside of Adobe Lightroom where we'll be editing this picture. You can see how the raw photo looks like, and these are the camera settings in front of you. This photo was shot in a Sony RAW format, so I am pretty confident that we'll be able to retain the details here. To start with, what I always do is I'll first of all crop the photo in a way that I like. So because I'm trying to make it a very specific person's portrait, I'll crop in quite a bit. I think this looks good. Now the next step would be to adjust the light that we see inside of the photo. So I'll go ahead and make some basic correction to the highlights, shadows, exposure so that the photo looks a little more even. We can see that this is the before, this is the after. Before, after. The next step would be I would go ahead and do some color grading on top of it. Color grading is a process where we are going to be tweaking the colors, the way the colors look. Now, I have a specific pattern in mind for this particular photo. I'll try to bring out the warm colors even more. And then, once I bring out the warm colors, I have a typical style where I change the blues to teal. So I think I'm satisfied with this very basic color grade on top of it. I'll show you the before and after again. So this is the before, this is the after, before, after. Quite a significant change so far, but I think that there is a lot more that we need to do. The next thing that I typically do with all my portraits is I would add a vignette to the photo. Vignette is basically when you make the edges darker or brighter. In this case, I'll be making them darker to bring more attention towards the center of the frame. And the second thing that I do is just make it even more prominent. So I'll take a radial filter, put it over the photo, somewhat like this, and reduce the exposure of the surrounding area. What this does is this brings the attention of the viewer towards the center of the frame which we want to highlight. So again, this is the before, this is the after, before, after, before, after. So I can see that I've brought out quite a lot of details, but as the name of this image is fierce, the image should look fierce in its character. How do we do that? I'll try and highlight these eyes a little more. So let me explain what I've done here. I've taken a custom brush and just selected both the eyes, and now we can do specific correction to only those sections. So let me deselect it, and I just want to make the spark in the eye a little brighter. So that is what we are going to do. So let me increase the highlights quite a bit. Now increasing the highlight washes out the eye, which looks fake and unnatural. So to counter that, I'll increase the contrast and reduce my blacks. You can see that this adds a gloss to the eye. It adds more shine to the eye, which gives the photo a character. So here's the second photo. I got this photo on the same day in Dhobi Ghat. I've named this photo The Harsh Reality. While speaking to this person, I got to know that these people work for 14 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. These are facts that most of us are unaware of. While I approached this person, he was picking up clothes from one bundle, writing something on it with a chalk and throwing it in different bundles. He was segregating clothes in a way which I did not understand. But I got this photo where sun was hitting straight in his face and the details were very clear. I did not use the concept of rim light here, and there is a specific reason for it. I wanted to highlight the brown eyes that this person had. So here's a tip. If you are looking to highlight eye in a portrait, try to see that the light hits the face from the front, or it's better if it hits from the side, a harsh light hitting from the side. These conditions bring out the detail in the eye. So here are the camera settings. This and the previous photo were shot on Sony a6400 and a Tamron 17-70 f2.8 lens. So we are back inside of Adobe Lightroom. Let us start editing this image. To start with, I would first of all always check the amount of detail that we have captured and is the photo perfectly in focus. For that, I'll zoom in. So I can see that the photo is perfectly in focus and we have a lot of detail. At this point, I understand if I have enough room to crop into the photo or not. I feel that there is enough room in this photo to crop, and I've already decided that the eye where the brown color is visible, this is what is going to be the highlight of my photo. So let us try and crop accordingly. Next step would be the basic color correction like we did for the first photo. Now, how do we decide which sliders to move? So I can clearly see that a lot of detail in the t-shirt has been missing, which is very bright. So dragging down the highlights will bring back the detail. So you can see here, if I show you the before and after, before, after, before, after. That is how you decide. It is completely arbitrary. Now I can see that this part of the face is very dark. So I'll have to bring up the shadows a little. See? That is how you decide. So let me do that for this photo. There you go. I feel that the photo looks pretty even right now, so we can proceed with the color grading. Just like the first photo, because this was morning, I would like to bring more warm colors into the photo and try to avoid a lot of cool colors here. So I'll drag down to the Hue Saturation tab and try to change the colors a little. There you go. I feel pretty happy with it. Everyone has their own color grading style. There is no hard and fast rule of color grading. Everyone prefers their own color. I prefer a little more rustic and a little more warm vibes in my photos. The next step that I'll do is the same that I did on my first portrait. Add a vignette and add a radial filter so that the center is the attraction of the image. Let us scroll down and add a vignette. Second, click over here and add a radial filter. There you go. So let us see the before and after ones. This is the before, after, before, after, before, after. Now, the next step would be to highlight that eye, which is the most important part of this portrait for me. So I'll zoom in a little. I'll take the adjustment brush and select the region that I want to highlight. You can also enable this show selected mask overlay, and this will help you to show what is the exact selection that you are making. The next step that I do usually with eyes is bring up the highlights, bring up the shadows, and bring up the clarity. I'll zoom out, and if I feel the eye looks faded, I'll bring down the blacks, but I don't feel so. So that looks good to me. I think that I want to bring the warm colors even more and bring a specific light direction in this photo. We already have a light direction wherein we can see that this area is brighter and this is darker. I would like to enhance it even more. For that, what I'll do is I'll take a graduated filter and drag it from right to left. We can clearly see that it has over brightened the image. I'll reduce the exposure a little and bring up the warmth a little. There you go. I can see that this photo is way too bright. So let us bring down the exposure now. We can see that the brown eyes are highlighted quite beautifully, which is what I was trying to capture in this particular photo. I hope that you enjoyed this format where we casually talk and learn more about photography by looking at actual examples. See you in the second video of this series where we'll be having a look at these two photographs. So stay subscribed and hit the notification bell so that you receive a notification for the second video. Till then, peace and bye.